Hi there, myself Madhav Jha. I welcome you to CodeChef and let's have a look at this question.
The problem is value flattening. The problem difficulty is easy and there are no prerequisites. Let's have a read at the problem. You are given an array A of length n. It is guaranteed that the elements in A are pairwise distinct. That is, two elements are not equal if their indices are not equal. So overall we have unique elements in this array. Now we can perform following operation on the array. That is, say choose an index I in such a way that the current index is less than both its previous, that is I minus 1, and its next element I plus 1. Once we find an index I like that, what we'll do is we'll set both the previous element and the next element to the current ith element. Now, this one operation involves choosing an element that's smaller than both its neighbor and then overriding both the neighbors and the chosen element. Now we can perform this operation as many times as we want. What we want to achieve is we want to achieve minimum possible sum of array A after performing the operation any number of times. Let's see the input format. So for t-test cases, we will have two lines for each one of them. The first line will contain the integer n, that is length of the array, and the second line will contain n spaced integers a1, a2, a3 till an, that is our array A. Also the output, on a single line for each test case, we just have to output the minimum possible sum of the array after performing some operations. As for constraints, number of test cases will go from 1 to 500, length of the array will go from 3 to 2000, and value of elements inside the array itself will also go from 1 to 2000. As we know, this is pairwise distinct, therefore two characters or two elements will never be same. Let's see some sample inputs. So for the very first sample input, the array given to us is 3, 2, 4, 1. Now remember the condition. We can only perform this operation on an index if it is smaller than both its previous and its next element. Therefore, corner elements are out of question. We cannot perform the operation on them. Let's check the remaining indices. Is 4 index where we can perform this operation? Well, no. It is bigger than both its previous and next elements. So this is not a valid candidate. As for 2, it is smaller than 3 as well as 4. Therefore, we can perform the operation here. After we perform the operation, we will have the array 2, 2, 2 and 1. This sums up to 7, and as you can see, that's the answer here. Let's see how we can approach the solution. We know that we perform the operation on our element ai when this is less than previous element as well as when this is less than the next element. But what happens once this operation is applied? That is, if this is the valid index and we perform the operation, now we cannot perform this operation on any one of them because all of them will become equal. Since they are equal, none of them will be eligible, neither the previous one nor the next one. And since we know that all of them are pairwise distinct, so we know that we won't have same elements anything anywhere else. So the solution is pretty simple. What we'll do is we'll go over the elements in the range from 1 to n minus 1. We'll check the condition and verify if the ith element that we are going over is less than both previous and next element, then know that this is a valid candidate. That is, a value will be formed here. Then we know that any other element, it means any neighboring element that is previous or the next, has the capability to become this element, right? So previous element can become next, can become smaller if it has the neighbor as a value element, right? This element is a value. It is smaller than both its previous and next element. So what we'll do is we'll simply store whether the index is valid or not, right? So it could either be 1 or it could either be 0. Then next up, once we have this detail, we can simply go over all the values of I and we'll simply check if its previous element is a value element or if its next element is a value element. If it is valid, then it will simply be minimum of all three, that is previous, current as well as the next. And then we keep on adding the sum into a variable for all the indices. At the end, what we'll have is the minimum sum of the array that we can achieve by performing this operation as many times as we want. And with this, we'll get our solution. Let's see how we can implement the solution in C++. So for each test case, we call the function solve. In solve, we take the input of n and then we take the input of our array. Once we have this, we create the valley array that is initialized by all 0. And as we have seen in the approach, we will decide whether the current index that we are going over is a valley candidate or not. For that, we simply check whether it is less than its previous as well as its next element. If that is the case, then this is a valid candidate where we can perform the operation. Next up, we simply go over all the indices and check if its neighbor is a valley element. If it is, then we know that we can perform the operation and the current element will be reduced to the element that is a valley candidate. That is the minimum of current and its previous or next element. Once we have this, we keep on adding the elements and at the end we have the minimum sum. And as you can see, I have AC in C++ implementation. Let's see how we can implement this in Python. Again, for each test case, we call the function solve, take input of n and array, then we construct our valley array to check and know the valid candidates. Next, based on these valid candidates, we update our array elements and keep adding them up. At the end, we have the minimum sum that we can achieve. And as you can see, I have AC in Python implementation as well. So I hope you understood the problem, the approach, and how we can implement the solution in both C++ and Python. Have a very good day and I'll see you in the next video.